Hi, and welcome back to My Perspective Monday. Everybody, we're going to have a great show today. I hope you had a great weekend. But you know what? Today we're going to talk about what is the biggest reason for breakups. Don't y'all want to know that? In relationships. What is that?
Child, spill the tea. What's the tea? Oh, you want to get there?
No, go on.
Who want to start? Okay, I would say one of the biggest reasons for me would be, cheating and lying. And I think that intertwines. And I think it intertwines because when someone cheats on another person, they're obviously going to lie about it, because most people aren't truthful, which I guess would be a stereotype. You assume that they're going to lie. But yeah, that.
So why do you think they lie? Why do you think they lie about what they're doing?
Maybe they don't want to hurt the other person, or maybe they want
to get away with it.
Or maybe they're just a fucking dog.
Yeah, they want to get away with it for sure. But I mean, how does that make the other person feel?
Like, which person? Like the person
who
got
cheated on?
I feel like it would make them feel really shitty, for one. Like, feel like maybe
what did
they do?
Their trust.
What did they do wrong? Or like, yeah.
But the other person, I guess they don't really think about it. That like, oh, now like they're gonna have like trust issues and stuff like that. They just think of the moment that they're in, like, oh, I'm about to go lie to this person because I know I just like fucked up, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do to protect myself.
If the people in YouTube land out there Googling this right now, if they Google this very phrase, they may run across an article from Psychology Today and some other sources as well. And Psychology Today says that trust is the number one reason relationships fail, or the loss of trust. And that can happen for a number of reasons, a number of ways.
Right, because trust is like glass. Once you break it, you'll never be able to put it back together.
It kind of reminds me of something
Basically
else.
the same way, just like disloyalty would be, and it falls in the line with trust and cheating and all of that. So disloyalty would play a big factor in that as well.
Well, other ways of losing trust too, and I'm not going to start rattling them off, but what might they be other than infidelity? I mean, so like if somebody is doing something hanky-panky with finances behind the person's back, and a loss of trust can occur.
I feel like that was I
absolutely agree with you. There's got to be reasons for the non-trust. To me, honestly, I feel that it's got a lot to do with commitment. And you say trust,
communication,
you say loyalty, But I'm like this: to me, commitment, everything is built on that. I mean, if you're not committed to that person, you can say, "Well, I lost my job, and because you lost your job, then I'm gone." I mean, I don't want no poor person.
Sometimes some people lose their like commitment and like all that stuff with that person, because sometimes they just get tired of that person, to be honest. So they're just I'm alive,
they're not
committed, and just find somebody else and commit to them, and then they'll get tired of them.
I mean, that shows somebody that's very weak, and they're kind of like they're a jerk.
It may not. A person might be weak, but they might be young and just not ready. But I recall when I was going through marriage counseling before I got married, and the minister asked, because he required it, the minister asked us, what's the most important ingredient in a relationship? And before I could open my mouth and say the wrong thing, I was going to say love. I thought that's what they wanted to hear. But my wife jumped in and said the right thing, and she said the most important thing is commitment. Because in a marriage relationship, you're going to have very, very hard times. You're going to have those job losses and those deaths in the family, and those bad things.
Yes.
So the commitment's got to be there.
The commitment's got to be there.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with that if you're not married to somebody.
It's got to be there.
But it's got to be there.
It's like the building frame. It's like the bricks, because okay. So even with the cheating, Well, if you're committed to that person, it doesn't matter how fine that person can be. They can be really fine. I mean, looking all good. But hey, I'm committed to my spouse, my partner. Therefore, I'm not going to do this. Right. But if you're not committed, as a matter of fact, that goes for anything. If you're not committed to anything, you're not going to hang in there long enough.
And that ties into loyalty too.
That's why I'm saying committed. That's another word for loyalty, right?
And if you're not committed, therefore the person is really not going to trust you, because just like you say, trust, that's good. Because if you're not committed, therefore the person is not going to be. They're not going to trust you. You're not going to trust the other person.
It's like a tree branch.
You're going to break the trust.
It's really like a tree branch, but also it's all about your standards and your worth. Sometimes you can avoid certain things. If you know your standards and you know your worth, then you'll fall through with the right person. But if you really don't know your like standards and your worth, then you're just gonna be slacking on to anything and everything. Like you can have 5 guys right in front of you, and you personally, since you don't know what you like and stuff like that, you can naturally like all 5 of them.
Right.
But when you know your standards and your worth, you know what you like and what you don't like. So you will find probably that 1% out of those 5 people that you might end up actually getting along with the most, because you know your standards and you know your worth.
Standards. I like that, because it makes me wonder why do people get engaged with people that don't have any good commitment. I mean,
Because
why would
you don't
do
know
that?
though until sometimes it's too late. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and I also feel like in the terms of cheating, I always feel like if you have to cheat on somebody, why be with them, or why would you want to get involved with that person? I don't know. I just feel like
Because
if you
they
have to
want
cheat, you
goodies.
shouldn't be in a relationship.
They want their goodies, and I don't appreciate that.
That brings me to something else since you said that, all right? It says we're in the social media age, which I did not grow up in, by the way. I knew what life was like before social media, all right? But since we're in the social media age, and, this number all the time, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the way it is. One of the top reasons that relationships fail, according to psychology today, is narcissism. In other words, me. So
basically.
It's a lot of
I'll let the social media generation take that and run with it.
That's good.
Okay.
Are we headed toward more bad relationships because of narcissism, because of social media, and because of selfies?
Yes, definitely, yeah. Definitely are, and I feel like we are because, it's not much time being focused on our partners and giving them what they respectfully deserve in a relationship, like time and patience and being humble. So I definitely do believe that.
And that is the key to maintaining a relationship, by the way.
But I also wanted to bring up, can you teach a person to properly love? And also, like, with sometimes trust isn't lost in the relationship. It can be their traumas that have caused them to not have trust, or
I can understand that too,
human
but
beings.
there's help. There's no need to do this to another person just because you wasn't loved or you going through trauma. You shouldn't do it to anybody else.
Right.
We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So, is it always one person's fault in a relationship? I'm gonna say no. No, it's not always one person's fault.
It's seldom one person's fault. But
How so?
sometimes we're by using the word fault, we're meaning that it's necessarily a bad thing. Some relationships come to a healthy end. It's not always a bad thing.
But that's
You
true.
just move
It's
on to
not
somebody
always.
else. I'm not saying that divorce is a good thing. I know that's very painful a lot of times, but who says we're supposed to stay in one relationship our entire life? Someone who was a teenager. So
I mean, I say that we should. I say we should stay in a relationship. I would say it like this: if you say that you want to be in a relationship with me, as far as marriage, and then you say you don't, then you kind of wishy-washy.
marriage, yes, but relationships in general, no. I married this girl I dated in high school. We broke up. We moved on.
Well, that's high school. That's giggly love, and people tend to do that. But when you get a little older,
yes. No argument there.
and you're supposed to be more an adult, you shouldn't be, this shoe on one day, this shoe off. I mean, I don't know if I want to do this or not. What y'all think?
I feel like also it comes with communication. Like sometimes some of the relationships, they're scared to talk about certain things because probably they're just not comfortable talking to that person. So communication plays a big part. So that's why sometimes it could just be one-sided.
And that is psychology today's reason number 5 for relationship failures: lack of communication.
Communication is a big key.
And I kind of wanted what you said, like communication. I actually think about it like this: like, what if it is just one person's fault because one person is constantly trying, and what if they start to express the things that are bothering them, and the person that they're expressing it to, they still don't understand. So it's one person's trying and others not. So I
feel how you feel
Yeah.
about it being just one person, because, you know, if the effort from one person is probably one person causing the problem. So, you know, it definitely is if one person trying to work it out and the other person is causing the problem.
Right.
Then it's definitely going to be a running inside.
I mean, I can
I
understand it, and I have known situations like that in my own life, you know, where it was one-sided, but yet, you know, like you say, you know, there's still maybe some issues that I maybe could have done better. But my thing is this, you know, I mean, there are times when you can push someone away. I mean, if you don't break it down and if you don't, you know, talk to them and you don't love them and you're not there for them,
not trying,
and then you're gonna, you know, maybe unconsciously you're pushing them in the arms of someone else, you know, so you have to, whatever you say you're going to do and be committed to, that's how you need to stay. I mean, whatever you did to get the person, that's how you need to keep that going all through the relationship. You need to be respectful. For one thing, you need to be respectful. That's something that my husband and I love to do. To one another, we say, yes, thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, even though we might do other crazy things, you know, there was a time we wouldn't poot around each other. But you know what I'm saying? But hey, but yet we say, I'm sorry, excuse me.
I mean, I'll forget the poopy talk, but I mean, but the part about the simple thank yous that we exercise toward people in daily life. Sometimes we don't do that at home like we should. Because, you know, if somebody holds a door for me, it does me a little small favor in the everyday life. You always say thank you and so forth. But do you do that to the person that's closest to you at your home? Not always. And I'm not good about that.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, because my husband said to me one time, he said, well, you know, whatever I would do to another child, if I would help another child, you know, if a child came to me and asked me, how can you help with my home? If I'm so patient to help that child, why can I do that to my own? You know?
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So you know what? We'll be right back and continue this. All right. Is it an old school way of thinking that if you're married, you have to stay together forever? I'll say what I'm not going to say. I'll let y'all go. I'm going to smother it right there for now.
I think it definitely is now in this day and age, because, I mean, what if you have somebody that's not treating you right, you know, and doesn't treat you right for a long period of time? You're just supposed to stick around and wait.
I agree.
I mean, that's how I personally feel. I mean, sometimes it is the better way to do it the old way and work it out, you know, but it's not always that way if the other person isn't working.
Especially if it's toxic. Like, I mean, like, for me, like, my Arabic people, we don't really believe in, like, divorces. Like, yeah, there is a divorce, but we just don't really believe in divorces. Like, it's a really big thing. So, like, you know, a lot of people do ask me, like, do you guys believe in divorces? Do you guys get a divorce? Yes, we do. It just doesn't play a big part. Because, like, us females, when we do get a divorce, the men, like Arabic men, they look at you like, oh, well, I wonder what happened in their relationship. What caused it? Did she do something wrong? Did he do something wrong? I don't know if I want to be with her, like, be her next husband, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, divorce is, like, a really big thing in Arabic culture.
I agree with you, because I have, you know, I've definitely have gone through a divorce. And, you know, but you know what? I'm gonna smother it. Go ahead.
I don't know. This is a really hard one, because I'm like right here on the line. I want to go this side. I want to go this side. But it's like, I don't know. I'm just a strong person who believes that if you're in it, like you're in it. But I can kind of see, like, long way down the line. Like, if it's just not there, it's just not there. You gotta let it go.
I also feel like too, like, a lot of people think that just because, like, oh, I've been through this with this person, and we went, like, like through crazy routes together, like I have to be committed, like we have to be together no matter what. No, like you don't need to go through bad things to be still together no matter what. Like sometimes these bad things are as a sign for you to move on and carry on. Like if you're going through small minor things, then yes, but like if it's like big things, like let it go.
What's the big thing?
Domestic violence, and that's that's one thing that I've been through, and I tried to hang in there for several years, like maybe 13 years, and I couldn't take any more. And I didn't want to have to get the knife with anybody, because I'm not that kind of person. But I didn't want to have to kill anybody. So I had to go. But at the same time, I thank God for a new relationship, a new marriage. And I really love this person. And it's not a torture for me to keep that relationship going. I mean, I don't have to say, God, seem like you would croak so I can throw you off the. It's about time. I love this man.
Yeah. Like I have a friend.
I love him.
She's in a relationship with this guy, and they're both like very toxic, and they like the toxicity that's in it, and they're still together. He's abused her. He's almost ran her over with the car and everything, and she still wants to be with him because she feels like this is the man for her. Like they're meant to be. They like the toxic, and it's sad because if you like toxic, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital.
To me, that's like loving someone that don't love you back. You're supposed to. I'm leaving it right there. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know what's some other deal breakers.
One thing with me is like a lot of guys also they lead the girl on just because of like the way they represent themselves. So they feel like I'll lead her on. I'll do certain things even though I really don't want her. And us females, we go along with it because we're like, this is the guy I want. Like he's doing this for me. He's doing this for me. But on the low, he's actually really playing you, doing you dirty, but we just don't see it because all we see is just this one guy.
Well, what's besides domestic violence, and I agree, you shouldn't have to live in a household where you're in fear, in fear of your physical safety. Let's spit that out, right? But what's some other deal breakers out there?
Well, we're cheating. I mean. Okay, so you cheat one time, okay, and I try to work through that with you, but then you're gonna cheat again and again. It's a miracle that I didn't leave you the first time, okay? So I'm saying and then you're gonna cheat again? Oh no. Oh
yeah, but
no.
not everybody thinks like that. Like I said, it always comes with standards and your worth. If you don't know your standards, you don't know your worth, you're gonna let that person keep cheating you, keep abusing you, keep them in your life for so long. Yes. And it's gonna be fine. You're gonna get so used to it, but really it's not good.
With that, you also teach the person that it's okay to do that to you.
And they're going to keep doing it.
Acceptable.
You enable a bad behavior by doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of reminds me of Tina Turner. Really that's my favorite movie. But, I think about how I tore up, and I'm saying why don't you leave this man? And praise God, the Lord said, well, why don't you leave the one that you with? Why you let him do that? Okay. I said, I need to get packing. But honestly, really, you don't want anybody to treat you that way. Treat people like you want to be treated. And you know what? Don't stay in an abusive relationship. And we'll be right back.
Some final thoughts, and I'll express mine first. And I don't know if this really fits or not, but as far as commitment and so forth goes, I just saw an interview one time with a former Associate Supreme Court Justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And she said, in order to make a marriage or a relationship work, you both have to be a little bit deaf, I should say. All right. Now, that may not be what the therapists say is good, but it does come in handy sometimes. But seriously, I think the number one key in maintaining a relationship is one word: respect.
Final thoughts on this. I mean, really, like I said earlier, if you're gonna be any of those things, disloyal, you're gonna cheat, you're gonna be those negative connotations, don't get in a relationship. Don't just I don't get in a relationship. What the fuck?
You know, I can understand that. My final thought is that if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to be committed. If you're not going to be committed, tell the person you're not committed. Tell them just a one night thing or, you know, just a fling. Just be honest. Be honest, straightforward. You know, don't bring somebody in your world and you really don't want them there, or you want them there under certain conditions. Just be honest. Yeah, I just want to do this one night or maybe a month or two and I'm going on. I mean, because people have feelings and you need to respect other people's feelings.
That's right.
Well, for me personally, it's just more of like, if you are naturally just not ready for it, do not put yourself in that situation. That's just really point period. Because like they said, it also comes with trust, commitment, you know, loyalty, respect, standards, and worth. And if you naturally just don't have all that all together, then just don't put yourself in a situation. It's really good for you to naturally have that all together, both of the people, so the relationship can work. And if y'all both don't have it, then just don't do it, because at the end of the day, you're both gonna like hurt each other's feelings at the end of the day, to be honest. So yeah.
Definitely. Mine, I would say, definitely if you don't have trust and loyalty and, like you said, commitment, going into a relationship and it's just not, or marriage is just not worth it or fighting for, you know, then that's my final thought on that.
All right. Well, look, you know what? Thank you once again for being on My Perspective. We really love you guys. Just remember that we really care about you, and thank you for coming on every day. And you know what? Not necessarily every day, but every Monday, but I mean Fridays too, or whatever. Look, it's a big, long story. Don't pay no attention to the man behind it. Anyway, let me just say this.
Just look for it.
Just know that we thank you for watching our show today, My Perspective. Make sure you leave your comments in the comment section. And you know what? You just go on your week. Have a great week. Don't forget to tune into My Perspective Friday. And we look back to see you on My Perspective Monday again on Monday. Oh, okay. Okay. Come on up in here.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Subscribe down below.
Subscribe.
That button.